So, we're really getting into this sitcom thing, aren't we, on this? Let's talk about it. Black Geek Cool. We're here talking about episode 2, Don't Touch That Dial of WandaVision. You might hear my daughter in the background. She's coming over here now. But yeah, we're getting into this episode. Before we do, remember this is going to be a spoiler review recap kind of thing. So if you haven't seen the episode, go watch it, come back, listen to the podcast, our audio version, or YouTube, wherever you're listening to. Also, if you can, go hit the 5 stars, the like button, the share button, all that good stuff. Just a way to show your support of the channel, what we're doing. If you want to financially show your support, you can always hit us up at Cash App Black Geek Cool, or check out our Patreon, Black Geek Cool, or get a t-shirt at Teespring/Black Geek Cool. But with that all out the way, let's dive into this episode, guys. So first up, the bedroom scene. It's really it's super 60s TV, separate bedrooms, the whole Vision being scared. I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny because Vision is like a robot, a sentient being who's not scared of stuff. I said a scared, you heard me. But showing this, it was kind of cool to see, and how, you know, Wanda was like, oh, I guess I'll be the one to show, and it is being just a branch scratching on the tree was very interesting too. But it's a little cool little opening, and then she used her magic at the end to make the bed one big bed. But it's very interesting. They had a Bewitched title sequence where they're all animated. I believe there was like there's an Easter egg when they were going below. There's like a couple Easter eggs in it though. I am not as deeply knowledgeable in the comic books these characters are from per se, so I definitely could have missed something. So let me know if you've seen something. But I know there was something about a devil in one of them people were talking about, which I think it might be Mephisto. I think that's his name. Might be a clue to him. I know there was something else. I heard somebody say, but I forgot it. But yeah, Easter eggs. Opening was cool. Seeing them in cartoon form was pretty neat. I know people got shirts of those, so that's pretty cool. Well, as we get into the episode, the first thing we see them is practicing for a magic show they're doing, which is interesting that Vision's the one is the magician, and Wanda is the assistant, being she's the one with the magical powers and everything. So that was kind of interesting. They played jokes. And the thing I like about the show is the weird jokes about the MCU. So if you've been a fan of the MCU for this long, there's little side jokes in there. Not really big name stuff, but stuff you would know if you've been a fan of the movies so far. Of course, later on we find out the magic show, them practicing this magic show, is for a talent show for the town to help fundraise for kids. I don't know if it's what kind of fundraiser kids, but we find out that kids are a big thing in this episode. Like, they're mentioning kids all the time, telling Wanda's kids. And then when I thought back to it, episode 1 they did that. They said something about kids, and it was kind of really, you know, punched in, like, hey kids, why don't you have the kids, and all this. So that could be a big thing. That my theory is, as of right now, I think Wanda's being held by what is their name? I blanked on their name. It is the octopus, the bad guy, Hydra. Hydra's holding them, and Strucker is trying to get Wanda to have kids, thinking that she will have superpower kids. That way they can use those kids and use them as weapons. That's my theory. She kind of knows what's going on. She's somewhat in control, but they're ultimately fully in control. That's my theory as of right now from what I've seen from the show. But yeah, Wanda ends up finishing practicing with Vision. He ends up going to the neighborhood meeting, neighborhood association meeting or something like that. Watch the neighborhood watch meeting, and Wanda's going with I forget the lady, her neighbor's name. She's going with her, but when she goes outside waiting for her, she sees this helicopter that's fully in color in a bushes. It has a sword insignia on it, so you know it's a sword helicopter, and it has Iron Man colors too, which is, I don't know if that's significant, if that's Stark, what's going on there, but that is really interesting. But she picks it up and she's examining it, and before she can finish really looking at it, her friend comes and they end up going to some women's meeting that they're going to, and the lady's introducing Wanda to the head lady in charge of the neighborhood basically, and they are going to, she's trying to make friends. She's trying to fit in this town and everything, which is weird. I don't know, because I still think this lady is like a Hydra agent. I assume everybody's a Hydra agent, because everybody's kind of weird. Because we have these ladies there, and they're all kind of, they're playing sitcom weird, but you can see, they're not dead in the eyes. There's something weird about their eyes. I don't know. That could be just me. I could be reading into it. But we go to Wanda, and we finally get to see, what's her name? We see Monica Rambeau is one of the women at the meeting. Harold Jean, I think her name is on the show, in the cartoon anyway, which is weird. She's the only black person there, so that's weird. So I'm sorry, I had to point it out. It's very weird, but she actually talks to Wanda, and they're kind of hitting it off pretty good. And I'm like, okay, what are you doing there? And I can't remember. I think she had a necklace with a sword emblem on it. So I don't know how she got there, because she clearly sword and not Hydra. So I don't know if she's infiltrated this world or wherever they got Wanda at, and she's trying to get to Wanda. But whatever. The head lady's in charge is talking like, hey, we're going to do this bake sale, this stuff, and we're going to do this for the children. And again, they hint on the children. And Wanda kind of says something to Geraldine, and they get hushed by the main lady. Like, hush, you gotta... That's my daughter. She didn't watch the show. She's just laughing at something else. But she's like trying to figure out like what's going on. You never know what to do with these things, and it's really weird the phrasing she's using. But they end up finishing that party, and Wanda's helping her clean up, trying to get closer to the main lady, which I don't know her name. I forgot her name. I'm gonna lie to you. And before that, we go and check on Vision. Vision's at the neighborhood watch meeting. He's hanging with the guys, and they're chit-chatting about neighborhood watch, and they were like, at first it didn't seem like they wanted Vision to help, but he just kind of, weirdly stood around. They were like, all right, you can join. And they gave him a piece of gum, and he ate the gum by accident, and it gummed up his works, which we'll find out later what happened. But at the neighborhood watch thing, there was another black guy. I know I hate that I pointed this out, but it's interesting. That guy, he was really weird. It was kind of odd. I think he might be a Hydra agent too. Honestly, that's how I feel. But they had a couple little nice jokes at the neighborhood watch meeting with Vision, and Vision was like, aren't you worried about high tech? He said something kind of high tech, and then they mentioned his job, the one guy that works with him too, and that was kind of interesting. But it was kind of weird. I'm not gonna lie to you, but it was neat. And then we go back to Wanda and the main lady. She's talking to her about something. I totally forgot what she was talking about. And then she hears somebody on the radio say, Wanda, can you hear me? Wanda, who's doing this to you? Wanda, who's doing this to you? I'm not even sure whose voice that was. I'm not going to lie to you. But then the lady broke a glass and started bleeding. and then it was like a moment where she kind of snapped out of it and was like wondering what's going on, and then she popped right back into 60s housewives and said something about what's the best way to get blood out of clothes, to do it yourself. And the lady went off and Wanda looked puzzled, like she didn't know what's going on. And then we had another commercial, and it was a Hydra watch, and Strucker was the brand or something. So that was weird. So that's what made me think Hydra's involved in this. So I could be wrong. But then we go to the talent show, and Wanda and Vision are having their magic trick going on. Again, they find Monica Rambeau's there. She's like the coordinator of everything. And she's like, okay, you guys are on. And Vision is drunk. It's the gum that's gumming up his system, but they portray it as him being drunk, which I think is hilarious. It works on so many levels. He's not able to do the magic tricks the way they're supposed to, and he's actually doing real magic, which is weird. No, he's doing like Vision stuff. Like he picked up a piano, and Wanda made it a cardboard piano to trick everybody, and they were like, "Oh, okay." And did a couple other tricks that where Wanda fixed it with her magic, and they made Monica Rambeau appear in the box, and it was really interesting to see the town dealing with it and the way they were reacting to it. It was very weird, but then they harped on how Wanda and Vision were amazing with their magic show, and it was great, and this really helped the kids. And again, we hit with the kids and everything, so that's really good. And Monica Rambeau's like, how did you guys do that? It's amazing. Blah, blah, this. Trying to befriend them, I'm not sure her angle. Is really weird. Hopefully we'll find more about that as the show goes on. But it's really hitting you with more interesting clues and more questions about what's going on in this world. And then we get back home with Vision and Wanda at home. They're relaxing after the show. She helps get the gum out of him, so he's back to normal. And then Wanda is pregnant. Like, she becomes pregnant. And then they're hearing... I don't know if they heard something go outside, so they end up going outside. And there's this guy in a beekeeper outfit coming out of the sewer system with bees all around. And then Wanda goes, no, and rewinds everything back to before they went outside. And back to when she just became pregnant. And Vision's like, oh, we're pregnant, blah, blah, this. And then she does something, and then there's color everywhere. Color. Like, the color slowly starts to go on them, then spread out to the rest of the house. I can't remember 100% did the house morph and change. But that's where the episode ends, where they're in color now. So we're slowly moving through the timeline of sitcoms, so that's crazy. If you don't realize, this is super late of a review on this episode. Yeah, I got busy at work and stuff. But I'm going to try to drop episode 3 and 4. I'm going to watch them tomorrow and try to drop 2 more reviews of those episodes, so I'm caught up by Friday. But as always, guys, thanks for listening. If you liked it, hit the like button or hit the 5 stars. Share it. Let everybody know about it. Let all your friends know. Tell them check out the channel and all that good stuff. Thanks for listening, and I'll check you guys on the next one.